Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats, the FPL show, where we talk about everything that's happening in a fantasy football league, fantasy Premier League. Myself and Wahid are not having the best of times, but we've got a master here. This man knows what he's doing. Temple is like the FPL guru. We only bring him on once in a while because he's always busy, but he's always doing these things to his team and he's at the top of the log in some of the groups that he's in. Temple, how have you been doing? How's it going? How was the January-December period? Because it was wild with COVID. How did you survive that?
I literally caught COVID, first of all. And when, when I had COVID, everyone was also getting COVID. So I was just transferring in and out. I took like a 12 points hit and I was like, I need to leave this thing alone because I'm going to keep tampering and it's not going to work. So I left it for a while, had it on autopilot, but came back, had a good start. And then last week, flopped. Captain De Bruyne, vice captain Cancelo, and both of them didn't even play. So yeah, went up and then went down, but that's just the nature of FPL. So yeah.
Okay. But some housekeeping for us. Remember, the show is sponsored by Classic Shirts ZA. Remember the icon in the corner that's up there. Remember, our shirt of the week is the Liverpool 1994-95 shirt. The version shirt that kind of started the resurgence of Liverpool in the 90s. They had the glories of the 80s, but this one is iconic because it started the rebuild in the 90s. So you can go check that out at Classic Shirts ZA. I'm just going to put up their website as well as their Instagram page. So please do go check them out. And remember, our discount code is Cheap Seats 50. Put that in there. You can get a discount on the shirt. What we normally do is we go through the teams. But Wahid, I just want to ask, this week was really good. I think guys got a lot of points. How did you go about this week? How did you do?
No, I did really shit. The same issue. I had 90 points in the previous week, so I had a very good previous week, and then this week, Captain De Bruyne, vice captain Coutinho, and De Bruyne moved to the bench, and Coutinho do his sweet goal, and I'm swearing at my FPL again because this game is just hella frustrating.
Oh man, that's a tough one. But now it's a new week, game week 26. Arsenal is in a double game week. I think with Brentford as well. I just want to check. So there's a double game week there. Yeah, Arsenal and Liverpool in a double game week. So that's going to be quite interesting to go through in terms of game week 26.
Liverpool have a double game week, but then they have a blank in 2 weeks' time. So you just got to plan.
Have a blank as well.
Yeah, you got to plan your life around that blank. So a lot of us still have a free hit, which you might want to use then.
Yeah, yes, game week 27.
So the teams that have a double game week are Burnley, Spurs, Watford, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Leeds, Arsenal, Wolves. So if you just want to tweak, actually not Wolves, Arsenal, Wolves. Yes. So if you want to tweak your team, if you want to do all those little things of putting players who are doubles, if you want to do a free hit, if you still have the 2 free hits, I think this could be the 1 week. I'm saving my free hit for the weekend where Arsenal blanks, because I've got Ramsdale as my keeper as well as Emile Smith-Rowe. But we're going to talk about that right now. Let me start with my team, and then we'll go around. So my transfers in, I'm bringing in Mo Salah for this week. Kevin De Bruyne, unfortunately, is out. I need to look into maybe wanting to bring in a Raheem Sterling if I want to have some Manchester City exposure at the top. I'm captaining Mo because everyone captains Mo, but I'm thinking about either captaining Ramsdale because he might get 2 clean sheets, or even Emile Smith-Rowe, because if Arsenal's got a double game week and it's Brentford and Wolves, Arsenal might find themselves with 2 clean sheets and actually even 2 wins or with Smith-Rowe scoring goals. So that's where I'm thinking about it this week because that's where I think I'm going. I might even consider maybe bringing in Son and reshuffling the decks a little bit. But for me, that's where I'm at. Smith-Rowe is a differential for me because he's a double. It's on a double game weekend. It's really cheap as well. So that's the reason why. Wahid, let's look at your team. or your selections, you've got Mo Salah in as captain, you've got De Bruyne out, and your differential is Ollie Watkins. Is the
Ollie
reason why you're taking out
Watkins.
Kevin De Bruyne?
So De
Instead
Ollie
of-
Bruyne,
Watkins.
what's wrong with
Oh,
Ollie
God.
Watkins?
No, not Ollie Watkins, bro. When was the last time this guy scored a goal, bro? I had this guy in my team. When was the last
No.
time this guy scored a goal?
But
Let's go.
up to now, let's get some stats up. He hasn't really had someone loading bullets for him. He's now got Coutinho to load bullets for him. He's got a creative presence in his midfield. So I think if you look at if you look at him, he's only got an 11% ownership, but his fixtures coming up are Watford, Brighton, Southampton, West Ham, and then he's got an easy one in Arsenal. So and then Wolves is a little bit harder, but then he's got another easy one in Spurs. So it's not the toughest set of fixtures for Villa, and I honestly think if him and Coutinho form a bit of a partnership, I think he might grab a few goals at the moment.
Wahid using the investment strategy we were taught at university, being buy low, sell high. Ollie Watkins is a striker who's going to buy low, because the last time Ollie Watkins scored a goal, Wahid, was in game week 19. And
My guy, we're game week 25. We're
in game week 26. So buying low, selling high, that's a good pick. I think it is, because the thing is, Tepo, we're running out of strikers. Like, we don't know which strikers to put in, especially with Mo Salah coming in.
Guys, put in what you call them. The ones where you put in like the 4.5 strikers. Get in Brozier for like 5.3. Don't put money in the front, because no one is getting money, like getting anything going in the front.
It's Chris Wood, it's Brozier, and it's like Patson Daka. Is that what you're saying?
Chris Wood.
I don't even know. I have Calvert-Lewin, and I don't even feel comfortable with Calvert-Lewin.
Chris Wood's form is exactly the same as Ollie Watkins.
Okay.
And he's not that much cheaper. He's like 0.9 cheaper.
Okay.
Chris Wood. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but yeah. Okay. Wait.
Let's go to your selection. So you bringing in Salah, you're taking out Jota. He's had a great run without Salah. That's an interesting one. Your differential is Sterling. And you're captaining Mo. I think we're all back to captaining Mo Salah. Why are you taking out Jota? Or do you have already how many?
Yes. Okay, so I need to get in Mo Salah like now, because I need to captain this guy. Not only captain this guy, but triple captain this guy, because he has a double game week, but it's against Norwich and Leeds. And they're both at Anfield. Guys, come on. It doesn't get better than this. Literally at the beginning of the season, I think it was the first game, Mo Salah, someone triple captained him. This guy got a hat trick, didn't he, or something? Scored big, and it was against Norwich. Now it's at Anfield. Guys, Liverpool.
So
Salah,
don't you think
Anfield,
Klopp's going
2
to
bites of the
rest him a
cherry.
little bit? Don't you think Klopp might rest him? Klopp, don't you think he might rest Salah? Because that's my fear of triple captaining him on a game week like this. Because I think we're all thinking that.
Yeah, that's true. But he could still go big in one of those games, and if not both, because I mean these are teams that concede goals, quite a lot of goals as well. Leeds especially. Norwich, maybe with is it Dean Smith, with him there at the helm, it's sort of changed. They're still shipping goals. They're looking a little bit better, but not significantly. And this is Liverpool. And why would, at this point in time, why would Klopp take his foot off the gas? You know what I'm saying?
No,
and you're at least going to get one game. And Salah, he's probably going to go big in that game. But yeah, and speaking of Raheem Sterling as a differential, so this guy scores he literally scored a hat trick this weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, he's literally been in the front the whole time. He just hasn't really been scoring goals. But now, of late, he's starting to kick in.
Especially with
that hat trick.
Yeah,
with Ferran Torres leaving as well, that also helps. And just checked out his stats in terms of goals per 90, comparing him to Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and Harry Kane. Those like premium striker midfielders. He's literally coming second with 0.63. Salah is the only guy ahead of him at 0.79. And he's doing pretty well in XG, or not just XG, but expected goal involvement, so goals and assists. He's like at 0.82. Salah's at like 0.89. 0.98. And Cristiano at 0.71. So he's up there and he's at 10.3. And this he's got the quality. He just hasn't been scoring of late, but now he's scoring. So I'm thinking of next week taking out De Bruyne for him.
You do play a problem with the Pep rotation, just a bit.
So
you choose him as your differential, but then you have the situation like we had with De Bruyne on the weekend where he's benched.
Yeah.
That's
why I shouldn't captain him.
But Raheem has played the last 5 games, and he started the last 5 games, and he's gotten 3 goals and 2 assists. So you kind of feel like
we all bought into that trap at the start of the season. We all went Bernardo Silva, and the same thing happened. He had a good run of form, then we all start picking. It's like a Sasol share. You start picking it up, start buying as it goes up, and then all of a sudden it falls off a cliff. So like it's
gotta ride the wave.
Yeah.
Gotta ride the wave. So guys, what's a sneaky captaincy pick that isn't Mo Salah?
Not gonna lie, man. I wouldn't miss this opportunity. I'm already triple captaining this guy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Harry Kane. I wouldn't captain him. It's a
not
blank.
Even
it's
not a double.
They're not doing enough. Like, would you invest? Would you invest in, if you were an investor? Would you invest in Spurs right now?
No.
I had the circus still worse than Man United.
You know what? Maybe Bruno Fernandes. Against
I was about to say Bruno.
I like that.
Bruno's playing really well. In terms of chances created, he's by far the highest in the league. His problem is that he has a bunch of shit strikers ahead of him who honestly, like, I was gonna say something quite vulgar, but let's leave it as it is. But yeah, they couldn't hit water if they were like shooting off a deck. And to be honest, that's the problem. If he had a better striker ahead of him, he would have 100 more assists. So it's just a matter of time until Man United, I think, find the net. They haven't been playing that badly at times under Ranić. Some periods of play under Ranić have been quite good, and Bruno Fernandes has been central to that. Ranić has also figured out that Bruno Fernandes isn't an 8 and he is a 10, and ever since he's pushed him back into that 10 role, he has been much better. I think it's 71 goal like clear chances created by Bruno, and the next closest to him is Trent on like 63. So he's well ahead of his competitors. So if those start leading to goals, Bruno is someone you might want to invest in.
Yes, he is, and he's cheaper than Kevin De Bruyne with less amount
11.7.
With more points. He's at 112, and Bruno's now starting to get to that Bruno of last season. So that's one of the things. If you want to have 2 players with 12 in your midfield, I'd go Bruno and Salah.
I'd probably go Bruno and Salah instead of Salah and De Bruyne.
Yes. Yeah, and Bruno's owned by 20% of the people in FPL, so you get that lovely differential where you're 1 and 5 of everybody else, like I did this week when somehow he thought only Bruno just had 1 assist, but he actually scored a goal at the end of it all. So I was pleasantly surprised. He really did help my team.
Dean called it last week, didn't he? Dean called Bruno last week.
He said Bruno double. So Dean, we're listening to you, my man. We're listening to you, my man. Outside of that, anything that we need to be worried about, anything that you think is like a sneaky differential pick before you go, someone we need to look out for. I know Jared Bowen is your friend, Wahid, and he's scoring lots of goals. He's really scoring.
That guy's a hell of a player, and he's a hell of an FPL asset. He's one of those oaks who's going to be cheap this season. You're just going to see him launch at like 9.5 next season.
9 next season.
You can feel it in your
But
bones.
there's another guy I'm putting out there. I know you're not happy about this way. He does Neil Maupay. I think Neil Maupay could be something in that.
Well, hold on. When I brought him onto the show previously, I was laughed at.
Yeah, you were. I remember that. You were.
I've been laughed off the show today about Ollie Watkins. You know what?
Look, if Ollie Watkins scores a hat-trick, we will apologize next week profusely.
I'll apologize.
The show by Dean Battersby.
I'm a fan. I think Neil Maupay is the guy. So I think Brighton's done well. But where do we put Jimenez in all of this? He's done really well for Wolves. Wolves are flying high. If Wolves are winning games, he's scoring goals. Tepo, do you think he's another guy we need to be looking out for?
I just think his price tag is too high for his output, and you don't want to going back to that Watkins roast. I wouldn't be putting much money in the front at the moment. He does have a double game week coming up, but just Wolves aren't really in the top 8 for their attack. It's definitely for their defense. So if you're looking at Wolves, definitely look at the likes of Tillman, Saiz. You could get a few goals with the header. But yeah, not Raul Jimenez.
Max Tillman's actually a hell of a player. I wouldn't mind him at United.
He's a big oak, dude. It's a proper.
Okay, Luke Shaw, watch out. Your position's coming. You've got somebody who's wanting to take over your position. But outside of that, thanks, guys, for the show. Thank you for preparing. Thank you for coming on. And on top of that, remember to all our viewers and listeners, if you listen to us, is that this is the t-shirt. This is the shirt of the week on Cheap Seats Liverpool 94.95. So if you're a Liverpool fan, use this discount code CheapSeats50 and go get yourself a piece of Liverpool history. Be like Wahid and get every single kit from your club from the year you were born.
That is incredible.
I'd like to do that. I think
that is incredible.
I know. And so not every single kit, one kit a season.
One kit per season. Yeah, I need. If memory serves me right, I need 2010-11, the year Rooney scored the overhead kick, and then I need Rooney's overhead kick against City, and then I need 2014-15, the year Mata scored his scissor kick against Liverpool.
Okay, we see you. Well, I'm sure the guys at Classic Shirt ZA will be gladly got the kits on hand. Outside of that, thank you very much, guys. Remember, the deadline is Saturday at 1 p.m. South African time. Don't say we warned you, because sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you're like me and you end up with 15 points. Outside of that, have a great week. Goodbye, good night, and lesale kakafis.